Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We talk at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So listener discretion is advised. Now let's walk the Path of Night.
Last time on Path of Night, the Coterie, reunited, discussed the circumstances of Wynn's return and the aftermath of the fight with the Sabbat. They scrounged for supplies. The Coterie was divided until Miles asserted his majesty. After radioing info over for Lucinda, they went to find Weathers.
Johnny is going to summon Weathers with the hope that he will not be able to leave, but when he feels the pull to come to me, maybe he will reflexively summon me to him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're aware that you getting summoned means we're going to have to bust in there. There'll be no recon.
I can try and track him.
If we have anything of his, I can help find him too.
I can track him by his beast. If he was here, I can try and track him.
Is it his specific beast,
Yeah.
or is it because there's vampires all over the city?
I know, it's his specific beast.
I would say we should go to where the last was so she knows where his beast was. And if we can't track it from there, then we can try the summon plan.
Got it, Miles?
Because then we actually get a chance to possibly recon and hit them instead of Kool-Aid Manning our way in.
If you say so.
Understood.
Where is the last place you thought he was?
We know where he was last stationed, right?
You are on the street that he was stationed at.
I'm spending a willpower. What's the difficulty?
7.
Only 2 successes.
With 2 successes, he's too far away.
No, he's too far.
Are we taking the police car, Miles?
I think we might be best to walk from here and have Neil conceal us.
Okay.
Are we bringing the radios?
Yes, turn them at least off for now.
I got it. And Lex, on Miles's say-so, I will cloak the gathering for the 5 of us.
Okay.
If we knew exactly where he had been, but I like exactly, I could follow him from there, but we don't have that, so I guess we
don't have like an exact building. He was just on Dixwell somewhere.
How did you find me when Pendragon took me? Go through the steps.
I had so what I went the first time when Pendragon, I followed you with that trail because I knew exactly where you had been and where you started, and then I illuminated the trail of prey and followed you to a puddle where I saw you through the water get into the car from the past, and then I just tracked the car.
Okay, can we try that?
Wynn, how badly do you want to find him?
I mean, very? Like, that's what we're here to do, right?
The earth shakes. Make a willpower roll at difficulty 9.
2 successes.
You may choose any of your disciplines and raise it by 2 for the scene beyond maximum.
Whew. Okay.
The fuck is happening?
My in-clans?
You may choose any of your disciplines and raise it by 2 for the scene as you experience a sudden and disconcerting surge of canine power.
Protean.
Wynn groans in pain, and you see her flesh split apart from herself as her body twists and collapses into how many traits of blood do you have?
3.
You're down to 3 blood?
Yeah.
Okay. As she collapses into 3 ravens.
Wynn?
Wynn, you have turned into a number of animals equal to your blood pool. You cannot be destroyed unless all 3 of them are destroyed, but have very abruptly gained the ability to scout over a large area very, very easily. But now I'm going to get to the bad news. As this surge of power courses through you, you feel something far, far away, but not far enough, rouse from its slumber. And this ancient power attains consciousness from its sleep deep within the earth. And without a doubt, you come to realize that this ancient vampire, whatever it is that you are descended from, knows exactly where you are. And consumed by its infinite hunger, it moves to draw you in. I need you to make a roll or be diablerized.
What?
Jesus.
When could you always do that?
Here's how this works.
Okay.
You're at difficulty 12 and will enjoy a -1 difficulty for every merit or power you have that is meant to represent some sort of force of will, code of honor, true love, iron will, loyalty, iron heart, focused mind 5. Any of those abilities, each one you have will reduce the difficulty of this roll by 1. If you fail this roll, you are gone forever.
The merits I have, and you tell me if they will apply, are inoffensive to animals. Doesn't feel right. Medium. Oracular ability.
For who it is, inoffensive to animals will apply. Okay. It sounds like you are rolling at difficulty 10 and need 2 successes.
I will spend that willpower. With the willpower, 2 successes.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I rolled 2 10s.
Fucking high five.
Erica, I'm
And
gonna
a 1.
Throw up.
What? Yeah?
I'm glad it was you rolling and not me.
When you know she's hungry, and she will attempt to lure you to her, and she will make you impossibly strong before snuffing you out if you ever give her the chance again.
Neil is looking at these 3 birds with complete bafflement.
One of the birds looks to Miles, because she knows. One of them looks to Neil. The one that looks at Neil tries to speak in words.
Some bird noises are made your way.
Okay.
Wynn, I don't know what you're saying.
Runs up and perches on your shoulder, kind of giving comforting. It's all right. It's all right.
It's not working at all.
It shouldn't be. She's very bad at it. The other one hops over towards Miles, doesn't get in. Have no idea how diseases cross bird thresholds at this point, and starts to talk. Mine's awake.
What is...
My old one. The oldest of my line.
All right. Take a minute.
She is making me powerful. I need to feed. And she's trying to eat me. And she's gonna try and pull me away. And if all of these 3 birds die, I die. But I can't die unless all of the birds die.
Isn't that the same thing Raven does?
I don't fucking know what Raven does.
Okay.
Raven imprisons men in bird form.
That's news to me also.
Miles, is she okay? Or
What is happening?
Her big progenitor of her line is woken up and tried to eat her.
Neil, he's a vampire. He doesn't
Stop.
blanch, but
Play that back.
And she knows where I am.
Gangrel,
That's
the clan Gangrel's antediluvian, has woken up.
Yes.
She says yes.
and that's why Wynn can I mean, what is she even doing? Channeling the powers of her elder?
It seems like it's made her more powerful.
I don't think she's channeling anything. If the antediluvian has woken up, it's forcing this change.
I don't know if I can change back, but I don't know that I have enough blood
Well,
to try.
we still have to move forward. So gather yourself.
I can probably track a little better.
Okay. Take a couple of your birds and do so. But I don't see us having a solution to this otherwise.
Tell them, the
Yes.
rest of them,
Yep.
that I can't die unless all the birds die.
Okay. She would like you to know that she can't die unless all the birds die.
So have one of those birds fly all the fuck away from here.
Can she just be Wynn again? Is it, or are we? Does she want to use this? What? Miles, what's happening?
Don't yell at Miles.
Neil looks cowed.
Yeah, she's a bird. She's going to look around while she can do it. She's been empowered. She has resisted being diablerized by her progenitor. Everyone calm down.
Miles,
Yes.
never in the history of saying the phrase calm down has anyone ever calmed down. I tried it 3 times tonight and it didn't work.
I know. But I got a little backup. So I understand it's a big deal, but we still have things to do. And there's nothing we can do about any of the rest of that right now. Once you're ready, I would suggest taking a look around. Let's take this boon for what it is and see and try to save the people we can.
Wynn kind of looks around as all the birds. All right, I will try to get a bird's eye view.
Go for it.
When the one that was talking to Miles takes off into the sky and surveys, and she starts kind of circling outward, like further down Dixwell, looking, listening, scouting for the sight and sounds of either a fight happening or the sight and sounds of a fight that has happened.
You head a bit of a distance down the street and come to the corner of Dixwell and Bristol Ave. And there's this old, kind of very much on its way out Radio Shack. And the Radio Shack's windows are smashed in. There's a fire that's going. The place isn't completely engulfed, but there is a fire. Outside of it, you see 2 lumps of men that were once vampires. There are fanged skulls, incinerated clothes, and as you follow along, you see another 2, another 1, another 3, and all in all, you find over a dozen of these dead vampires. And you know they're vampires because they're much deeper into states of decay than humans would be had they been the ones butchered in this scenario.
The bird on Neil's shoulder will squawk at Miles and give these updates so that the crew can keep moving in the direction that she's headed or making different choices. There are a lot of bodies down here, a lot of kindred bodies. There are definitely signs Weathers has been here. There's some people beaten to pulps.
We're moving.
As the bird watches, you do see that there is, you know, those storm doors that open and lead down into basements?
Yeah.
Well, there is a small apartment building that has storm doors just like that.
Okay.
That lead down into a kind of a large basement area.
Okay.
And you can see those storm doors are open, kind of heading up from inside to close the storm doors. You see this man who's got this little goatee. He's got this greasy mop hair trench coat. He has a purple armband on. And perhaps most unusual about him is that his eyes are just these empty, translucent orbs. And he sort of doesn't need to see where he's going. His head doesn't really turn to keep track of direction, as though he's just aware of his surroundings. And he just closes up the storm door.
Did he seem like kindred or did he seem like just a dude?
He is very much a vampire.
Okay.
There are fangs in his mouth.
Okay.
He's got that kind of gaunt, path dead expression.
Okay. Is there any sense of clan or...
Give me an occult roll. Difficulty 8.
2 successes.
With 2 successes, you are reminded of stories of vampires possessing a myriad of types of blood magic, but there's one in particular where its power manifests in the eyes of its sorcerer, and that is the power of the Tzimisce Kolduns. They're wielding elemental magics. What it means when the eyes don't glow at all and are instead translucent, you're not clear on.
As a heads up, there is an apartment building near the radio shack. I think there's Tzimisce Kolduns holding up in the basement.
That sounds terrible.
This is a sliding scale of worse and getting worse.
Team, we're heading towards a Tzimisce Koldun. Not entirely sure what that entails, but...
Go ahead and give me a Sabbat lore, Johnny.
2 successes.
With 2 successes, you know that Tzimisce Kolduns wield the elements by essentially brutalizing spirits and forcing them to bend to their will. And what is particularly concerning is that they possess something called the Way of Spirit. And through the Way of Spirit, they become aware of their surroundings, sometimes over large distances. And through that space, may perform their magics, whether that's conjuring fires or storms, or swallowing vessels in the ocean.
This is bad news, guys. Kolduns practice a magic where they are attuned with the spirits of an area. I don't pretend to understand what that means, but they are aware of everything around them in an intimate way. They can summon storms, fires, waters to drown their foes. This is bad.
What does the spiritual landscape look like in this place? Shadowlands and...
Shadowlands is being consumed by a horrific storm. In the spirit world, there is just this sickly presence that is feasting on the essence of the city itself. It's been that way for a while. Right now, you're not seeing anything distinct, indicative of the Koldun's magics.
Okay.
It seems subtle enough that just looking around isn't going to reveal anything.
Johnny, that awareness, does that pierce obfuscation? Does it see into the psychic realm? I don't know if you...
Johnny gives you a look like you're asking questions far above his pay grade.
Okay.
I don't know about any of that, Neil, but if I had to go after a Koldun, I would be as fast and swift as possible. Awareness in the spirit realm or not, I think speed is our ally here.
Just wondering if I should physically stay behind to go check it out now that we know.
We should keep moving. Obfuscate us again if you can.
Well, yes, yeah.
Well, we talked a bunch and everything like that before.
Oh, yes, no, I have been since we've been moving.
If nobody's suggesting we break it off, let's go.
We're already here.
So,
You said let's go.
Can I spirit track?
Yeah, roll for it.
Is my perception or survival any different?
It's the same roll as before.
Okay. I had a success, but the one took it away, so no successes.
Based on the trail of bodies and your clues, you think this is the way? But
feel pretty good. So we're going to move as quickly as we can while staying under his cloak, crossing fingers and praying that that's going to be enough to get us within close range of this guy.
well,
Like I
you
said,
guys are able to arrive to the storm door.
While I am waiting for them to catch up, is it possible to scout any locations where there might be some snacks?
To find snacks.
Blood.
Like you want to go hunting?
Don't want to go hunting, want to see if there's a convenient place to top up a little bit.
There isn't really going to be anything convenient in the
Okay.
immediate area. You're in it's like a war zone. No one is allowing themselves to be in such vulnerable positions if they can help it.
I wasn't sure if there was like an overturned ambulance or a blood bank or something like that.
Do you want me to take a peek inside before we do anything?
Be circumspect and quick, but yes,
Okay.
He's going to need someone to watch his body.
we're all staying with his body.
Lex, I will try and, visible or not, project my consciousness out of my body to go face through the walls and take a look.
You go through the wall and you see more dead Sabbat. Once you venture deep enough, there is the man that was described. He seems very much aware now of where the Coterie is, and he is struggling with his phone trying to call for help, but is definitely in possession of a torpid Weathers. And it doesn't look like Weathers was torpid from someone successfully managing to survive his onslaught, but more he seems to have suffered from lethal heat exhaustion related wounds. Like his flesh was baked. Not burned with fire, but with like raw heat. But you definitely get the impression that with this guy who's got like a hunting knife in his hand is watching the direction of where the Coterie is and is intent on attempting to saw Weathers' head off if he feels he can't make it out with him.
Neil's body stays limp, but a like bizarre looking psychic version of Neil appears in front of everyone, and in the moment that he is visible, just goes, he has total awareness. He knows exactly where we are. He's alone, but he's gonna cut Weathers' head off if he thinks we can't make it out. So this is either a negotiation, or if somebody's got ideas, I can hear you.
Rob, I hate to point this out, but I think in the past you've described Neil's astral form as not being Neil.
In the past, I have described it that way.
And that has changed.
He still looks blonde. He still looks soaked in blood, but his features are like a distorted version of Neil, not the identical features of someone who hasn't existed in the domain for like 10 years.
Does this look like the Neil that showed up last time?
It looks like a distortion of him.
I mean, we could try a negotiation, but...
The form disappears, because I only manifest for a short time.
Neil... Shoot.
The last words before, as he's like fading out of sight, is, I can still see and hear you.
One of the birds looks to Johnny. One of the birds looks to Miles.
Johnny, options. We gotta move quick here.
Hold on 1 second. After Neil explains, Britta, you feel an intense heat wash over you. I need you to roll. You don't get to add your armor to this, but stamina plus fortitude against 5 levels of lethal damage. In addition to this, the sudden wave of heat also causes a blood loss of 5 traits of blood.
All right, we'll get to that after, I think. I only have 4.
Yep.
So, first things first, you said stamina and fortitude.
That's right.
I have no fortitude, so I am rolling stamina. Am I allowed to spend willpower?
Not on soak, no.
1 success.
Okay, you will take 4 levels of lethal damage, and you will lose 5 traits of blood.
I have only lost 4 traits of blood because I only have 4 traits of blood.
You are reduced to 0 blood. Describe the intense pain you feel, as you guys can actually feel like suddenly the heat of a bonfire radiates from her.
That transient shimmering of the air that happens when there's a horrible, horrible heat radiates off of Britta, and she screams out in agony as it rips at her skin, and it clearly goes beneath the armor, the jacket. It's almost like it's containing the heat to help cook her. But soon, that agony turns to hunger, and you see that bestial look return to her eyes, like you'd just seen earlier. But it's worse, it's dark, it's like the pupil in those wide eyes is blown, like there's only one sole focus in the world. And she's hurting, and she's driven, and though there's no fire, a vampire doesn't much like heat.
Johnny would go.
Seeing the Coldoons attack outside of this location, Johnny throws aside all pretense of planning and just smashes through the entrance to try and go directly for the Coldoon.
Let's roll an ish.
13.
The Coldoon will be going on 12.
I'm spending 2 for extra actions. I'm going on a 13.
I'm going on a 24.
Activating the 3rd level of Path of Blood, is that obvious in any way to people around me?
Yeah, so there's no light show.
Okay, yeah.
But because of the paradigm it is,
Yep.
you are invoking dark powers and are audibly doing so.
So I'm not doing that right now.
16.
18.
All right, Britta's first.
Has Johnny successfully bust down the door yet?
Yes, I'm actually going to say at the breaking of the storm door we roll.
How far is the Smatesy Coldoon from the entrance?
He's actually pretty deep. It's going to take multiple actions to get to him.
What about shooting him?
He's not in that. There's multiple rooms.
Got it.
So you're going to have to, unfortunately, close to the room he's in order to do that.
Britta has already reloaded on the trip there. Then I'll switch the assault rifle and head on in. As quickly as I can without using celerity. I don't have the blood for it. You see, Britta, she hasn't taken on the same berserker's rage that you saw in her earlier. Not just yet. The focus that she has, that's of Britta, that's of who she is, but there's a battle between her and the beast. I'll move as far in as I can.
Okay, you take a full move. Who's next? I believe it's Wynn.
One bird will perch up with Neil. The other two will dart into the house
Okay.
and begin searching.
Miles.
I am drawing my sword and moving through the busted out door and moving in the general direction that the Neil ghost pointed. I will spend a blood for rod rending
Understood.
and make a full move as much as I can.
Johnny.
Johnny will leap down into the cellar space. Does he see any clue as to where the Zemitzi is?
You see more broken canites strung about, scorched from whatever burning implement was being used to beat them to death. Probably fists. But that does create a bit of a trail.
Johnny will use his action to, as the crow flies, make a path on this trail.
You start smashing through and you are on that path. We go to Neil.
Because I know where this guy is and can move with the speed of thought, Neil's spirit will begin speaking audibly in front of where he is, just appearing in front of where he is, and say, honestly, considering everything that was going on right now, we would have just talked to you. We would have said something. But we would have advocated. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to, and you certainly didn't have to with your will or your blood. We could have just made this work. All we wanted was to walk away. And I will, through my words, use total insanity.
Okay, let's pull up the roll.
It is intimidation plus manipulation. Does my spec in fast talking work?
Yes.
And I have a 7-die pool. I will spend a willpower. What is his current willpower? That's my difficulty.
7.
4 with the willpower, so that is 4 successes to fracture the spellcaster's mind.
1 part terror, 1 part tantrum. The Koldun lets out a mad scream. Not like a guttural roar or a bellow, like a shrieking scream.
Neil doesn't disappear because he's not there.
All right, celerity. Who spent for extra actions? Miles.
I will head towards the scream.
Very easy to follow now. And as you burst into the room, you find a torpid Weathers, which is kind of hard to see because normally he's just so
Vital.
strong and sturdy that it's just not really something you had ever really imagined to see him in. And kind of hovering over him with a knife to his own neck is this wide-eyed, emaciated figure with fangs bared and these translucent eyes that flicker with red heat.
Am I able to
I'll
attack?
do it!
Am I able to attack this round?
The full move gets you into the room.
Okay.
I'm sorry. He's holding a knife to his own throat and said, I'll do it.
Yes.
Cool.
Johnny,
Johnny will use his celerity to get into the room.
you find yourself standing shoulder to shoulder with Miles. And did you have any other actions, Miles?
I do. I have one more.
Okay, you're up.
I will strike him. I don't know what he's going on, so I'm just going to give the man the old cut.
The old slice and dice.
The old slice and dice. 1 success.
Roll damage.
I'll spend for potence. 1 damage.
You spent for potence.
Spent for potence.
Oh, 5 damage.
Okay.
I forgot. It's not used to that.
He will suffer 2 levels of lethal damage and kind of drops the knife, puts his hands up, and squeals. I surrender. I give myself to you. Yes. Yes, you can have me. The spot was wrong. It's mistaken. I give myself to you.
So seeing Weathers in the state that he's in, I think Johnny is going to put this guy through the fucking wall. Hopefully a concrete one. 9 successes.
Do what you will with me. I ask only that you spare my packmates. Wait, they're dead. Clash. Boom. Like you just at that. As he realizes your strike connects.
Strength plus 8 successes. I will spend for potence. 15 bashing.
He will roll soak. He will soak 1 and will take 14 levels of bashing damage. Your fist connects. He is driven through the cement wall, and his body goes very still as with a single blow you reduce him to torpor.
Anything else moving down here besides my coterie?
Yes. With that torpored Zamisi, you slowly come to realize that he wasn't talking to the group of you. And the body jerks and kind of twists, and its veins start to bulge and take on this orange, spongy sort of texture.
Johnny's head lowers, and he adopts a wide stance as his fists curl and begin to smoke.
Dad, I'm all alone. I'm all alone with the monster. And you left me with her. And it starts to kind of sit up as it speaks with your daughter's voice.
Get Weathers out of here.
We go to the next round. Britta, I believe you're first.
Are there more of these fungal voices?
I'll get to it on its turn.
Yep.
Right now, aren't you?
So I used a full move action last round. This round, can I visually see the body jerking up?
The doors open from Miles and Johnny bursting into the situation. So you can see this thing is sitting up.
All right. I'm going to aim for the head and shoot.
I will say this. Orange spongy vicissitude monster. Your training kicks in.
As my training kicks in and I lose control of myself, does my new Berserker merit kick on?
That's what I'm referring to.
Oh, okay.
Get it,
helping you
Canary.
out.
You're effectively making an attack roll at difficulty 5.
With the damage that's on me, 4 lethal, that's wounded. Take away 2. 16 successes.
Hit.
13 damage.
It rolls 0 successes, and the round you fire enters its eye and explodes out the back of its head. There is this orangey blood pasted all across the little concaved area that Johnny's fist created, and despite being animated by this waking godling, the Koldun goes still. It turns out, he has brown eyes.
You see Britta turn into what you've watched her slip into before. Canary, the one who shot Vito, all the times that she's lost control. This time at least a little more directed. Her gaining access to this part of herself, this berserking. Maybe it's a thin line.
Johnny kind of loses himself a little bit. It steps past and kind of almost rushes to the corpse that has just been blasted out in front of him. Jessica? Wait, that was Jessica's voice. He kind of looks back to the coterie with bleeding eyes. What the fuck was that?
It's more tricks.
Tricks? The fuck kind of trick was that?
Do you remember in the Chantry? That same fungus. It senses you. It knows things about you. I don't know how to explain it.
He looks unconvinced but doesn't say anything.
Neil returns to his body, and then you can hear his voice sort of calling down from the street level, like he had heard all of that. Johnny, Suarez was with your daughter, right?
Yes.
And he was a cop?
Yes.
If we're in an outage, he might be using the radios too. Do you want to try? I don't know if... Just bring Weathers up and we can think of something.
We need to regroup. We're starting to get empty here.
Yeah.
I really need blood.
Yeah.
Looking at the downed Canites in Weather's path, are there torpid Canites who look to be unaffected by Zamitsi blight?
Unfortunately, even though there's easily over a dozen Canites, the burning fists of Weathers did not reduce them to torpor. He killed them all.
Please don't get too near me. I'm really thirsty. Maybe just put me in the trunk for now.
Johnny, grab Weathers.
He scoops Weathers up and heads outside.
I will, as we're going out, pull out the shotgun with the dragon's breath round and shoot that corpse.
It sizzles and writhes, but finally stops.
Hate those things. Moves to follow afterwards.
One bird stays perched on Neil's shoulder, the other two follow the group.
After a hard night, struggling against the enemies of the Camarilla and direct threats to the Coterie, the group of you are exhausted, hungry, in many cases wounded. There is a place that has been prepared by His Grace, Prince Miles Davenport, to be a fallback point, and that is located right off of New Haven Green at the courthouse. Beneath it, there is a bomb shelter that non-combatant kindred, those who might be hungry, wounded, etc., have been instructed to go to in times just like this. As the group of you arrive, it is quiet here. There is little activity, no lights aside from the red star that shines overhead, and the police lights of the various positions that New Haven PD has taken up along the street, around the New Haven Green, and at various points, intersections, where the Sabbat might roll through. Knowing, at least vaguely, who you are, and aware that you are individuals welcomed to the courthouse, the police do not give you a hard time. You are allowed through the roadblocks they have set up, and the group of you will walk up the stone steps to the courthouse. You enter, and from there, you are ushered down below, where the Camarilla is holding out as best it can against this onslaught. Greeting you, there's a handful of the Assamites who were welcomed into the domain some time ago, who are very discreetly watching access points and doing their part to make sure that it isn't infiltrated by assassins sent by the Sabbat.
I give them a nod and we inform them that I need to be quarantined for now, as the rest of my coterie goes inside.
Well, Miles, I don't know what to do either. I don't think I have enough blood to wake up. Don't even know if I should be here.
Before she goes in, one of the birds, that is Wynn, will do a circle above the location and kind of get an idea of anything nearby, anything that might be encroaching.
Looking out, there are fires and city lights are out. You can hear distant screams, and because you have the ability to see into the underworld, you can see a roaring maelstrom swallowing up the underworld as far out as the eye can see. That across the realms, it's as though law, whether it is the law of a civilization, the law of physics, the rules of reality, all of it is crumbling to dust before your very eyes. Pandemonium has become the rule of the land.
Taking a minute to just take that in, Wynn will fly back down and through the door. And as the coterie is ushered in, the three birds will gather together and Wynn will reform as her humanoid self.
You okay?
As okay as we can be, considering... Are you?
No, I'm not okay. I need blood.
Okay. We'll get you some.
Johnny looks around at the reception in the headquarters. Does he see Aisha anywhere?
Yes, she is kind of on this, I don't want to say like bureaucratic, but she's basically performing a bit of an organization role. And it seems that she is very, very flustered and has been having some disagreements with the local court. When she sees you, there's a bit of a sigh of relief, and she approaches and lowers her head just a little bit respectfully towards Johnny and says, I apologize for any conflict that I have caused among the court of New Haven. It is not my intention, but there are some things, even in the face of this chaos, perhaps even especially in the face of this chaos, I cannot bend on, and I believe I may have upset the citizens of this fair domain.
I'm going to need to know more about what you're talking about, and I will be at your full disposal. But before that, my coterie needs a little bit of assistance. We just came from some pretty rough encounters with Sabbat.
How can we help?
I need blood for all of us. And something happened to Miles that it's beyond me.
Clearly having heard this, you notice that one of the kindred that Aisha was having some trouble with, a Vicky Summers of the Toreador, the one who painted the soul painting of Miles previously, gives this mirthful smile and fucking laughs when she hears this and says, "Oh, Aisha, you're going to have to tell them there's no blood to be had here, isn't there? There's nothing, because you turned it away." And Aisha looks flustered and embarrassed and says to you, "It is true. One of the Nosferatu, I haven't met him. It seems he was gone for a time. Mr. Fester."
Neil perks up.
Arrived with a U-Haul truck meant to supply the kindred, but he did so in a frankly detestable way, and I refused his admittance. I'm very sorry.
Can you expand on that? What did he do that was detestable?
As Mr. Fester decided, Vicky walks over. The Nosferatu Fester went about New Haven and collected people, tied them up, put bags over their heads so that we wouldn't have to look them in the face and feel bad about anything, but collected them so that we can feed ourselves, survive, and maybe make it out of this intact. But because of the laws of Hakim and weird Assamite drama,
Wynn grabs her by the face.
she squeals.
You're gonna wait your turn to talk. This is a conversation between the seneschal and his attaché. And she pushes her away by the face. I do not have the patience for pettiness right now.
She kind of turns and storms off.
Johnny gives Wynn a look, and then kind of just gives her a very subtle nod, and then looks back to Aisha.
What she says is true.
Yeah, but she didn't have to be a cunt about it.
If feasting upon hostages is our only means of survival, I do not feel we should survive. She says very apologetically.
I think I would have made a different call, but I think I'm glad I hired you as my second. He gives her a hard look, but puts a hand on her shoulder. Thank you for making the right call that I might not have.
There is the slightest kind of like wince as you reach out to touch her, but she doesn't like make a show of it, if that makes sense. It's just something you pick up about her body language.
He pulls his hand back after he notices that she kind of winces at that. He fixes her with a look that is thankful. I still need some kind of blood for Britta. She is about to snap.
Seems like there's plenty of Toreador blood.
Do we not have any mortals?
Some of the Assamites that are present, they don't like say anything, but when you're like, how we could eat that fucking douchey vampire, the warriors that are watching the entrances kind of give each other a look.
We're definitely not offering up other vampires as blood, unless somebody offers it themselves. I am not sending orders out. We're still holding together.
Johnny, at this point, I don't even know if I could wake up. I'm wounded and I'm starving.
Fester is somewhere outside.
How recently was he here, Aisha?
10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago?
Wynn, do you think you and Neil can find him?
Maybe. I was gonna suggest that we
Yes.
try.
Since we've walked in, Neil has been also looking around. He looks beat to shit and also hungry, but he's been looking around for any other familiar faces that are here at, like, Fallback HQ.
So, I mean, a lot of the people that are here are the people that were always kind of the passive audience in the past. These are the kindred that would show up to Elysium because they wanted to see drama, not because they were a particularly relevant focal point of it.
None of the other Primogen Council is here.
Right. None of the mover and shakers are present.
No Nara or no Peter.
No Nara, no Peter.
At Johnny's suggestion, Neil looks at Wynn and just sort of nods his head. Yeah, we can step back outside and I'll...
Do you need a piggyback ride?
No. I'll look for him. We'll find him. I'll try calling him if he'll take us. Well, shit.
Phones aren't
don't
working.
work.
Do you want to try sending a walkie message? You
Who's
still
in
have
a
the radio,
U-Haul
right?
truck? I might.
All right, well, let's try that.
Worst comes to worst, and he's sort of like,
Worst comes to worst, I'll summon him.
yeah, we can do
Worst
that
comes to
too.
worst, I'll make sure you get fed. But try and be quick about it.
Let's go.
Take only what we need, release the rest.
Yeah.
Aisha, more important than blood, the prince has been stricken with some kind of plague. I don't even know how that's possible. Do you have any healers amongst your band or someone that might have insight into that?
What can you tell me what he was stricken with?
It's the bubonic plague. I know that sounds dumb, but it is.
That doesn't sound dumb. If he has been afflicted with a virus, a disease, or what have you, there is one of my clan that I believe would be able to assist through an old magic referred to as the Covenant of Nergal. He can be healed of his affliction. I will attempt to find the woman capable.
And lastly, I have Weathers with me. He's been put into torpor. Do you have any means, aside from a elder's blood, to wake someone from torpor?
Yes, but I do not have a means of ensuring he doesn't go into a rampage. If he's hungry, we don't have solutions at the moment.
Johnny kind of frowns, knowing that Weathers was fighting someone that probably could have extracted all of the blood from Weathers, and that more than likely waking him up might send him into a blood frenzy. Well, until we get some better idea of how much blood we can get from Fester, we'll just keep him safe for the time being.
Of course.
When Aisha mentions the Covenant of Nergal, and as Johnny's talking about, basically what would be the path of life's water, Neil, as he and Wynn are just about to leave to go find Fester, looks at her and goes, "Where is Nara? Where's the last place you saw her?"
I am told that there is someone that she was looking for. A bit of business.
Business with... Do you know anything else?
She kind of gives you this look like she's not sure. She's not sure if your Coterie might take offense to the topics she might bring up as she explains. It's a very subtle, like...
Neil nods his head. He has tons of perception and empathy, and goes, maybe after we talk to Fester, which is the most immediate pressing concern, Aisha, with the Seneschal's permission, maybe you and I could have a conversation.
Yes.
Well, we could summon her too if we need to.
That might be, depending on what she's doing, that might not be advisable.
Britta, do you want to come with us so that you're right with us when we find Fester?
Probably best.
All right, then
But-
come with us.
I'll talk to Fester, and you maybe keep Britta from seeing what's in the back of the truck before we can do things carefully.
I'm going to stay here make sure Miles is good. I'm going to get more updated on the situation. Y'all come back quickly, okay?
Do our best, man.
If we're not back in 5 to 10,
Then stay safe.
Neil nods to Wynn and Britta and heads back out the door.
Wynn weirdly lingers a minute looking at Miles like she needs to be able to do something about this and can't.
I'm probably not in the HQ at all. Like, because I've been told that I am possibly virulent, so I'm probably in some sort of courtroom that is abandoned upstairs or something like that.
It is more likely they brought you to, like, a space that they've arranged as a holding cell.
Okay.
Because, unfortunately, while they need to keep you away from the community at large, you're also the prince, which means if they leave you exposed, that risks a different disaster.
Okay, so I'm off to the side, essentially.
Right.
Got it.
Then she kind of looks at him through maybe like the pane of glass in the door that separates them and just kind of lingers for a minute and then makes her way outside.
You gotta look at him through, like, the small window, like, too small for an arm, that's got, like, the metal mesh and glass window. It's got the same feelings as, like, those older, like, middle schools where the walls are brick, the windows are small if they exist at all. In this case, not really existing very much at all. And the big, heavy steel doors that separate the various rooms. It's very much that feeling.
I'm so hungry, and Neil, I don't know if this makes me a bad person, but if I don't feed to heal as well, then I'm just gonna be hungrier later, and...
I'm also, not working at my best. We'll talk to Fester. Maybe... And as they're talking like that lowered humanity in Neil kind of crystallizes a little bit. Maybe we just take a little bit from everyone and then send them on their way. It's selfish. I know there's others that are hungry, but between the three of us, he sort of nods back over his shoulder towards where Wynn had been lingering and is now catching up. We can do a little bit, and then, I mean, so long as these people aren't unconscious, yeah, they might not survive the night, but we don't have to be the people to kill them.
What's the plan? Are you looking for them first? Am I looking for them first, or are we looking at the same time?
I don't think we should split up.
No.
No, I'm just talking about right here. I don't think Neil and I need to go far to start our searching.
I don't need to... The only complication is that Fester, last I heard, was terrified of me and didn't want to see me. So, I can find him, but maybe, I mean, I've got a bullhorn if you just want to yell for him.
That'll draw attention from everything else.
Yeah, I think we should probably narrow our focus.
And Britta...
I can go talk to him.
Yeah.
But finding him is step one.
Britta, just summon him then. If he's just driving around, it's not as dangerous as summoning someone who we don't know their situation. So, if you can, he'll hate you for it, but that might just be a consequence of the time.
Well, he's the one who wanted to get me blood-bound to Upton Rollins, right?
That's what the paperwork said. It was his suggestion.
Call it even, I guess. Try to summon him. Never mind, I can't summon shit. I don't have a blood point. Britta focuses for a moment, and then realizes, and the frustration boils over. I can't do it. It takes blood.
It's okay. We'll do it the other way.
Okay.
We'll do it just to...
That's okay. Thank you for trying.
We'll do it the other way. So Neil pulls out a ribbon, lights the end of it on fire, and starts chanting under his breath, because I know he was just here.
Okay.
And I will start following an invisible thread to where Fester is.
Go ahead and give me a ritual roll.
I'm going to be doing this, but that means I'm going to be focused here, so just make sure somebody just, like, snatches me into the sewers or kills me from the sky.
Do my best. Just a day that ends in Y, I guess.
A 9-die pool for this. 2 5s.
Okay. But that succeeds, and you follow the trail. Normally this would dissipate if you hit any bodies of water. There's some complications to the method you are using. However, it literally just leads outside and a bit down the road towards where there are some squad cars. Right over there, there's this innocuous U-Haul truck that's just kind of parked up on the curb and out of the way.
After not that long, Neil just looks up and goes, "Oh, yeah, he's over there." Or at least, well, no, it's him, not just the truck. He's in that truck. It's that one over there. When Did you ever really interact with Fester? Do you have much of a relationship with Fester?
I know him if I see him at Elysium.
Okay, well...
I'm the sheriff. He probably knows me. He knows the
definitely
Coterie.
knows you.
Okay, then
I'm gonna...
if he's afraid of you, I'm gonna go and smooth things over first.
I have to... Okay.
I'm gonna tell him that you're there and that you don't want to hurt him.
Okay, maybe don't just lead with don't want to hurt him. Maybe just... I never got a chance to say I'm sorry and just let him know we're here and I'm glad he's okay.
I'll do my best.
Neil does not linger and obfuscate, but does stay in a visible spot in the street.
Wynn jogs up to the U-Haul. How close are the squad cars to the U-Haul?
Like 20 feet.
Okay, do they look like they are involved with the U-Haul?
No, they're just kind of hanging out, exchanging like kind of really toxic war stories.
Great. So she will jog up trying to be fairly innocuous. Presumably pulls her hood up before
What's your appearance rating?
2.
Okay. Yeah, they ignore you. You're fine.
She will kind of stand outside the U-Haul and wave at the driver's side window.
Neil, you get a really bad feeling. Like sending Wynn may have been a mistake.
As soon as that feeling hits... Wynn, wait.
She will run back. Abort mission, jog back.
Hold on. Wait.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a better explanation. I just... Do you ever just get feelings, premonitions? Just
Neil, I'm gonna need something way more specific, or
I
I'm
don't
just
have
gonna
anything more
go and
specific.
eat faster.
What's going on?
I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it. I need you not to go. I need you to... I got it. Let me do this.
Okay, but you have to trust that instinct if it's you, too.
If you lose track of me, that means I'm running away. Okay?
Okay.
I promise. I don't know. Neil looks really nervous. Like, not in the same way. Like, very similar energy to when he's, like, tranced out in the past, but he's still very much in the moment.
She will kind of grab his hands. I'm here. I'm good.
All right. I got it. Hold on. Give me a second. And Lex, Neil will tag out and start walking forward. But he's also, like... He's going to try and feel if this is also giving him that same bad idea, with the knowledge that he's extremely paranoid right now, so he could be getting a million false positives, which are just blanking out any sense of rationality or danger.
As you head over to the U-Haul, the front door of it actually opens, and climbing out, kind of dressed in these very nice, like... bright shoes with kind of like raised heels and like a very nice pair of like tight acid washed like designer jeans and this just very kind of honestly very well put together outfit. Fester hops out and has his chin up kind of defiantly, but you can see very clearly that there is something that has Fester mortified in this moment.
Hey buddy. Is everything okay?
It looks like Fester starts to talk, and you realize that there's no sound that comes from him.
Neil's eyes immediately go wide and panicky.
And sort of tipping his head out the open U-Haul door is a man you know well. And he says, because of your unfounded sense of mercy, this Geth of Cain has preyed upon mortals again. Because of your hesitation, because of your unwillingness to kill what must die. You must fix this. How much attention are you guys paying to this exchange?
Fucking riveted.
Okay, so what you hear is Fester say, Neil, I just don't know why you turned on me like that. We were supposed to be friends. And And then you tried to kill me. And every chance you get, you try to kill me. Why are you doing this? And you just kind of see Neil's head tilt to the side when he hears that. And then Neil says everything I just said to Neil as his sire.
Path of Night is a Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. Britta Ashcroft the Toreador was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Venture was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was composed for Path of Night by Brian Matolius. Find him online at brianmatolius.com. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We can be found on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show on coffee.com/pathofnight. Find us on twitter.com/pathofnightpod, on facebook.com/pathofnightpodcasts, or email us at pathofnightpodcasts@gmail.com. See you next time, kindred.
I pretend like I understand what's happening here, but this is fucking intense.
I will spend a willpower.
Do you want to know?
After.
Okay. I think Rob figured this out.
Some deep Malkavian shit, and I'm so here for it.